Let's slow down for a moment. Take one soft breath. Now, think about money, not as something scary, not as something you should feel ashamed about, just as something many people were never taught. Because money is a lot like a game, and every game has rules, but most people never learn the rules. So they work hard, they try to save, they try to be responsible, and still they feel behind. Have you felt this before? Maybe you open your bank app at night, you look at the number, and your chest feels tight for a second. Not because you are a bad person, not because you are lazy, but because you are trying to play a game without knowing the moves. Imagine sitting at a chessboard. Across from you is a very skilled player, but no one ever told you how the pieces move, who will win. Not you, not because you are weak, but because you do not have the rules. For many people, money feels the same. Some people seem to rise faster and faster, others stay stuck for years, and it can feel confusing, it can feel unfair. Now look at your daily life. Maybe you wake up early, you go to work, you do your tasks. You do your best, you get paid, and the money leaves fast. Rent, food, gas, phone bill, subscriptions you forgot about, and then you wait again. Does this sound familiar? Sometimes people say, just work harder, but that is not the full truth, because money is not only about effort. Money is also about strategy. Many of us were taught one simple path: do well in school, get good grades. Find a safe job. Then everything will be okay. It sounds comforting, but real life often does not follow that story. You can do everything right and still feel pressure. And here is something important. A lot of the rules around money were shaped by people who already had power, control, and resources. That does not mean you should feel angry all day. It just means you should see clearly, because when you see clearly, you can choose better. A quick story. Maybe you tell yourself, next month will be better, so you use your credit card for one more thing, just one more dinner, just one more small treat. And then next month comes, and the balance is still there, and the interest is bigger. It happens to many good people. So what do? We start by changing how we see the game. Long ago, there was a writer in Italy who studied power and human behavior. His name was Niccolò Machiavelli. He lived in a hard time, with danger and conflict, but his lesson was simple. Do not live in fantasy. Look at reality. Not to become cold, not to become cruel, but to become prepared. And when it comes to money, being prepared changes everything. Now, let's slow down here. Machiavelli wrote about power, but if we listen carefully, he was really talking about reality, not the world we wish for, the world that actually exists. And this matters with money, because many people stay stuck not because they are wrong or broken, but because they believe life is always fair. They believe hard work is always rewarded. They believe if they follow the rules, things will work out. But have you noticed? Sometimes very hard workers struggle for years. And sometimes others move ahead faster. This does not mean life is cruel. It means life is complex. And money responds to clarity, not hope. Think about this small moment. You sit quietly after work. Your body is tired. Your mind is busy. You tell yourself, I just need stability. That wish is very human. But many systems use that wish to keep you dependent. A job can be helpful, but when someone else decides the value of your time, you are not fully in control. Another small moment. You put money into a savings account. It feels safe, it feels responsible, but slowly prices rise. Your money buys less than before. You did nothing wrong, but the game kept moving. Machiavelli understood this pattern long ago. People act from fear and desire, fear of losing security, desire for comfort. When you understand this, you stop blaming yourself and you start observing. Here's the mindset shift. Money is not just paper. It is a tool for choice, a tool for breathing space, a tool for time. Without money, you depend on others. With some control over money, you gain options. This does not mean hurting anyone. It does not mean lying. It means thinking clearly. Another small story. Imagine two people with the same income. One never looks at their spending. They just react. When stress comes, they spend. The other looks calmly. They track where money goes. Not with shame, with curiosity. Who feels more calm over time? Control brings peace. Machiavelli also taught this. Watch what people do, not what they say. This is useful with money. Banks, companies, systems, they all have goals. When you see those goals, you stop being surprised. You start planning, and planning is not fear. Planning is care. Another moment you may know. A bill arrives. Your heart beats faster. You feel small. But a strategic mindset asks, what is my next calm step? Not panic, not denial, just the next step. This is how people slowly change their financial life. They stop seeing problems only as threats. They look for lessons. They look for options. This is not about becoming rich overnight. It is about becoming less controlled. When you change how you think, your actions change. And when actions change, results follow. Not fast, but steady. Let's take one more slow breath. This last part is about something very quiet but very powerful. Control. Machiavelli believed that a ruler must control his land. If he did not, someone else would. With money, your land is simple. It is what comes in and what goes out. Many people never really look. The paycheck arrives, then it disappears. Bills, rent, food, small things that add up. And suddenly, there is nothing left, so they wait for the next paycheck, for the next month. But hope is not a plan. A calm plan begins with awareness. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to cut all joy. You only need to know, where does my money go? What helps me? What drains me? Think of each dollar as a worker. If you send workers to things that give nothing back, you feel tired faster. But if you send some workers to learning, skills, or simple assets, they slowly return with help. Another gentle truth. How you appear matters. Not in a loud way, not in a flashy way, but in a steady way. People respond to calm control. When you panic with money, others feel it. When you are always desperate, bad deals find you. But when you move slowly, when you say no without anger, people sense strength. This does not mean buying expensive things. That is often weakness wearing a mask. Real strength is quiet. It is paying attention. It is making clear choices. It is not explaining yourself to everyone. Another small story. You are offered something, a deal, a purchase, a promise. Old you might rush. New you pauses. You ask, does this help my future or only my feelings today? That pause is power. Risk also matters. Life is never risk-free. Avoiding all risk feels safe, but it often keeps you stuck. The calm approach is simple. Start small. Learn. Prepare. Take risks you understand, not to prove anything, but to grow. And one more quiet lesson. You do not have to do this alone. Strong people build connections. They learn from others. They ask questions. This is not weakness. It is wisdom. Over time, something changes. You stop feeling chased by money. You stop feeling ashamed. You begin to feel steady. Money becomes a tool, not a judge. And here is the final thought. If you have struggled with money, it does not mean you failed. It means you were never taught the full game. Now you are learning, slowly, calmly, in your own way. And that is how real change begins.